It's time for Dads Without Dads, a community of men who are determined to become the dads we never had.
Bwembya matus, we banga mafus, we kwato bukopo mubongo, Bwembya iyo bongo bongo.
It's gonna be a very, 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 very good day, a good day.
Our guest today does a lot of things. He could be a farmer today, or an artist tomorrow, a businessman the day after. But in order for me not to waste your time by telling you everything he does, we can simply sum it up by saying he's a steward. And we will find out more about what he does and what qualifies him to be one. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll for Lweendo, TheJesusist. Mwemfumu. Mwaisen.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
You are not alone. You came with someone. Can you introduce the person seated next to you?
I got them. The person sitting next to me is my guitar. She goes by the name Shelly.
Shelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you known each other?
Wow, that question. I remember some time about 5 years ago, you asked me the same question. We've known each other for a very long time. Maybe kindergarten feel I remember church, one of the elders, I was asking, so that has always been there because I've had the love of music for a very long time.
Amazing.
So, with this guitar anyway, in a nutshell, I've been with the guitar since 2007, 2008, somewhere.
Wow.
If I remember correctly.
Powerful. Let's find out who you are and where you're from. What does your childhood background look like?
I'm very happy with my childhood, and I'm very happy with the question. My childhood has been a learning point. I thank God the way He has brought me because and that foundation basically has been good for me. So maybe you try to be specific as in pesa.
Okay. Maybe let's just take it back to where it all began. Where were you born?
I was born in Kitwe.
Okay.
I was born in Kitwe. I lived to Kwacha East. That's where my memory takes me, Wangu. That's where I was born.
Okay. And how was the environment there?
Actually, the environment Kukwacha. Anyway, we used to live in Parklands. If I remember very well, there's a flat called Last Mascot, somewhere in town besides at Freedom Park. Then to Asakoka, that's how we found ourselves Kukwacha East, somewhere Mpepinaku. There's a club, I don't know for by Itana number, but Club Zero.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I used to live. So I counted myself like in the childhood, and it was like I'm the black sheep of the family.
Oh.
Yes. What I mean is, abakalamba banda bengi, nabaiche banda afterwards. Bale akuma schools, I am town coffee there like Kitwe Primary. I remember abengi basambile pa Kitwe Primary. Then for me, for the other one, I lepa Valley View, Kitwe. Abaishwa Kitwe, we know abaishwa ma places. But for me, basantoma Mutende Primary, which of course pale void besides Kapoto. Pale void into Alan that it was in the a little bit Palenstein to Bwembya na Makoloboy. We photo light Kudakside it was by that time. Bantu Mutende Primary, which was Kwacha, because there's a difference between Kwacha and Kwacha East.
Oh.
So that's how Efona kulile. So kulia you know combination ya aba kumayadi na ngwaba likofidia. So I had to learn Bwangu that kanshkwali bako na life yaso.
Okay.
Bwangu.
Oh.
Yes. So basically school, that's where I went to Mutende Primary School.
Okay.
School, yes.
So what caused that shift from the family dynamic in terms of taking children to a particular type of school? For example, you're saying the others that came before you went to better schools maybe, and then what caused that downward shift towards taking you to a school that was not at the level of the schools that maybe your other siblings went to? Was it that the economic situation in the family changed?
Not really. Not really. I think that I'm the black sheep. It was a training ground. I think it is spiritual. For me, it's spiritual. Now, this is saying that I needed that training by an invisible hand, which I call God, to be trained way to prepare me for who I would be and who I am now. So it wasn't really economical. If I remember very well, what caused that was quite nadisa achelo akofidia maskulu ya shupa like okobantwele. Then I just found that ukwashiliba place ya kwa school. That was the place, Mutende Primary School.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really didn't have to do with the economic status.
Okay. Okay. And are you able to describe for us the setup of the family at that particular time?
That we are a family of 7 basically. 4 boys, 3 girls. That abakalamba bandi, they had to grow up with our parents. Bwembya. I can even tell.
Okay.
Mannerism, seriousness. For Baba, you can tell that these grew up with the actual parents. They were there to stand for them. But the 3 of us, because I'm the 5th, the 3 of us, me, my younger brother, and my sister, we're a little bit different. If you look, you're able to see kama recklessness, for a lack of a better term, maybe I could even say indiscipline and lack of kuma festival. But as you grow up, you just, because maybe it's genetic, it's biological, while you start getting the same traits, but you're able to see, but this is not right. Okay. Like, for example, to give an example that I'm not very good in tidying, but my older brothers and my sisters, they are good because of the excellence of our parents.
Okay. So are you confirming or insinuating that there is a psychological effect to either the absence or the presence of parents in the lives of children?
Exactly.
Such that in the long run, it starts to manifest even in their traits, in their attributes, in their behavioral patterns. That's what I'm deducing from what you're saying, that it's very possible that as a result of the absence or the presence of your parents, that can, in a way, determine how you will behave in society.
Yes,
yeah,
it really does, and that's why for me coming on this program, I'm one of people who believe that the presence of both parents is very important. It's just that maybe society likes to neglect you, and maybe they overlook those things. I've seen passionately, actually, I've studied Pamulufida as a lay person. I've seen the difference with people that have grown up with both parents, attitude, people that have grown up with maybe a single parent, people that have grown with a dad, or people that have grown with a mom.
Okay.
Of course, you can't generalize that if this is the way it is. But if you are keen with those observations, you would tell that we wouldn't be akulana abafiashi, we akulana nabanyina, or abakula pamu. Okay.
Okay. That's a good one. I would like to host a psychologist one day so that they can also give us some of the traits that are common in each of these 3 people that you've described, or in fact 4. the one who was maybe raised by a man alone, a father alone,
Yeah.
the one who was raised by a mother alone, the one who was raised by both parents, and the fourth one, the one who was raised without.
Exactly.
It would be nice to find out what the traits would be in each one of them. So tell us about, still on family, tell us about your mother and your father. Maybe starting with mom.
What I can pick from mom right now is that she was a strong woman. She believed in what I remember, she believed in not cheating yourself. I remember the words. I was very young, maybe even 6 or 7, somewhere there. I remember words like, in Tonga, she would say, "Waibona nkumwe, shaka tandigabe dededi." Meaning, have you seen this forehead? I will not be there always.
Wow.
So that would stick in my head, like, what does she mean? I'm also looking at, having said that, I'm also looking at the situation whereby I believe most of my generation, they're a victim of what I can call HIV. That part, I think I would talk about it if time allows. I think she knew that she was not going to be there for us for a very long time. So she had to instill in us their mentality yakukana chita depend pabantu. That's what I remember most about my mother.
Okay.
Because I remember Ndebe telling me, because I used to be like the favorite. When I call Hassan, mom, she would say, like, I also have my mother. Don't think like when we before I have my mother, so don't trouble me, please give me some space. But I'm just like that's what I can really say about my mother. And then she was a believer of formal education.
Okay.
She was a believer of formal education.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. We take our first break.
Yabonfya amatuuls webanga amafuus wekwata obukopo mu bongo ibonfye iyo bongo bongo yabonfya.
You're watching Dads Without Dads, and my guest today is Lweendo, the Jesusist. So now tell us about your father.
My father was an educationist. Like I said, first, I'm able to notice the difference between even data capturing, intelligence, my siblings band. Books munganda, very big books. We had a bookshelf. I remember kuna mwene chess. Even kada, I don't even know at Kakube. You know Kakube kada cubics.
Colors. You have to solve
yes,
like a puzzle.
We had that. So what I remember about him is that, of course, I've said he was an educationist, but I believe in only formal education. I remember the time Nombani Shibale Luala, because I spoke of HIV. He told me that know that education is your father and your mother. Because my mother actually passed away. Then dad followed. So I remember Nishindiko school, Bantu school, local primary. By then Nishnat Fumako, because he had to retire. We went to farm where I am right now. Okay. He told me he told me that Lweendo posa kwa mano school. Like he was talking in past tense, like he knew he wasn't going to last. Ukapose kwa mano school. School is both your father and your mother from now. So I was like, I was young, but but that now rings back like, oh, this is what he meant. And actually, the kind of education that he meant, the general, there's what I call schooling. Okay. A lot of people mistake schooling with an education. I tell my boys and I'm like, mwalishiwa kuimba echima. Twalipanga na fila kola wakupanga fitolopo, we call them jitolopo, mutongo fila kakila kwe ngombe. If I tell you that pange na pa Mr. Bwembya, tamwa pange, people wouldn't call that an education. So there's a difference between schooling and real education. And that's what I feel like society lacks. So with him, education meant to kuishiba how to apply what you learn, and how it can benefit you.
Okay.
So whatever you learn, take it seriously and see how it can help you. Debusha, because of how he trained me, or what he said, but because the Papa Sana days he died. I remember asking a teacher, can I mention his name?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I remember asking Vasa Vakuchuala Ninja number secondary. Because of that, I was like, but it funding some shouldn't have option. No bet Vasa, Fikabombajan. I said, no bet. Iwa kusambiri la fie, if you kusambiri la fie. If you go Zambia, but I wanted to know, mathematics, ikanga French.
Yeah, but that sounds like the teacher is saying at never to have sung.
Yeah, something like that. So there's a distance between what we learn, what we call formal education, with the real application. That's why maybe our society they are proud of their papers. But in a panomunji pushing my papers, maybe I've got none. But when somebody, maybe I'm articulating stuff, you ask me to Alanda, they'll be, oh, this man is very educated. What do you mean that this person is educated? So from that background, I really respect my dad because of what he taught me at a very early stage.
Okay.
Which, karaka philosophy kashala feka ninja okay, but education ya chini ni. And I hope, like, if in Indeland and sharing my story, maybe someone out there can learn that actually it's not schooling. You need an education. And that's why people say, "Not kwata ma paper." Sometimes in the second of our sister, and she's a nurse. Bale sambili la fie. Bale sambili la fie. Ba fuma pali degree. Na pali degree. But you are just piling those education. But what is real life? So real life is applying their education. I think because of that, in that we need an overhaul of the curriculum, especially like Zambia. We need an overhaul. Nish to suli left into like at Ingombe. You know that there are people who think Ingombe is mafe mumpoto.
Wow.
But looking at it as a live thing, because of this education part that we have spoken, NRDC. Badi isola abantu. Even nango wapita po fipa NRDC. Tapa moneka bwino. Kuma there's a term we use at Muchiboria. Muchiboria. Yeah, it's like the real value ya education. Yali ba twali pusa. We don't really understand what an education. That's why we have people with good accents. They can speak good English. They can talk like that. Then we say, oh, badi chitashani, badi sambila. Okay. When English is just a language. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you fully understand direction, education, njebele badad at a very early stage.
Not to cut you, but just to add to what you're saying, we live in a society that has embraced the white collar mentality. Partly, it could be a historic issue where we're coming from. Our parents' and our parents themselves really believed in what they considered to be the ultimate job. So at that particular time, everyone would just say, oh, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a teacher. And what that means is that you have to look clean, you have to look smart, you have to wear a suit and whatnot. So anyone else who wore anything away from those standards that were created was then looked at as they're not educated. And that's what education meant in that particular time. So I like to give examples of, for example, open-minded parents, like the mother to the guy who gave me this shirt.
Okay.
Did you see what's written at the back?
Daka.
Yes,
Daka.
this is Patson Daka when he
Okay.
was at Leicester City. He's just moved recently. And I look at her and I think about how difficult or how easy it was for her to make a decision to bless her son and allow him to pursue the journey of playing football, when football has been seen as it's a profession for people who are not educated, just like music, just like any other skill to do with using your talent.
Exactly.
So I feel like we're in a society where it was believed that you needed to be one of those things I mentioned, or then it means you're not educated. But what people didn't realize is that even when you are going for training for football, that training that you're doing, the more you get better, that is education.
Exactly.
You are educated in that field. The more years you spend in the music industry honing your skill, that's education. You are getting educated. Even traveling is a form of education.
Exactly.
When you travel, you get exposed. Exposure is education. You are learning about how people live in other societies. And if you have the ability to apply what you learned, then you're educated.
Exactly.
But people think education is sitting in a classroom. Yeah, so I agree with you. And
balindopola badadi balindopola naleta sana kampombwa, so nalepasa number one. Then it happened that time nasa pass at number 3. So not knowing how disciplinarian ngente alandere wedile.
disciplinarian.
Yes. Baisa umfwefe kusote lomba kampombwa Lweendo akampombwa. Shalaba. That was the time I used to be good at football. Maybe nganalisa befina tema music I would have become a footballer. Nali ambere no kuratina bola. So that direction of education. So there's need to be balance. Mama, if it's reading, you read. Knowing maths and how to balance a life, it's very, very important.
Wow. So at what age did you lose your father?
I think if I remember very well, I was 12.
Okay.
12, somewhere there.
What type of emotions did
12,
you experience
14.
at that time? I know when people are young, sometimes they don't really understand what's going on. It might be different from the emotions that are experienced by someone who's much older, who spent a lot of time with their parent. So in your case, what do you remember in that moment?
God. But I was hopeless. In their mindset, but you no matter what will happen, since my parents were. What really catches me when I remember is that nalisa mboko imona different, like nala chitashani. How am I going to live now that these people naleta, because taba bali konkana, one dies this year within a space of 8 months. The other one also follows.
Less than a year.
That's how my parents died.
Wow.
And then I really want to say this, to put it on record, like most of our generation, we are victims of HIV. I remember there were insinuations that maybe they were bewitched and the stuff. In Africa, no death just happens. No
There's
death just
superstition.
happens. Yes, especially Zambia. We are a superstitious country, and it's very unfortunate that we are a superstitious country whereby fiance says, this one is a Satanist. And no wonder Jesusist, because I'm no longer a Satanist. Our society is called Mulifila. So I took time to study what led to to my father and my mother dying filia. After Twakula, my sister started having problems. So we didn't know what to do. So it had to take my older brother, my immediate older brother, I think if I remember very well, and other family members to say, this one, tufure to ampimisha.
Okay.
Only to discover that she was born HIV. Positive. So why am I bringing this information out as a family? It's very important we shouldn't just be spiritualizing unnecessarily. And because of this, I'm going to speak in parables. Let people who are going to listen to this podcast or watch this podcast, you should go and check 2 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 20.
Okay.
Look it up. And then you are going to understand what is happening in country. Look it up. 2 Chronicles 21, verse 20. So I took time to investigate it, only to realize that actually our parents were hit with HIV.
So all this time that people were suspecting they were bewitched.
Family to alisa umapona bakaramba baba dad because but suspect that nindosh. You can imagine. And a lot of us, generation, when I say generation, about my 80s and stuff. We,
the millennials.
Yes, my parents, so they were HIV affected because in that society, takwara my ARVs. And it's like even the empirical powers, they used that to change the terrain ifokukola. It's now that maybe as Africans, we are coming back now. We are saying, no, we've got rights as Africans to do film, to do music, to do this in our own way. But a lot of our parents died. A lot of intelligent people died. And it has affected our society. It's like, it's like what they did to the United States. I know I've read and researched. They brought drugs on the street to affect the black community. My mind is wired like that, to think like that. So presence yaba fiash in short is very important. So as a society, we need to respect ourselves as parents. Like if I go to the Bible, the basic entity of society is two people, mother and father. Now watosanga society yakwebati mwaupana. Who instituted marriage?
Isn't it God?
We've got society who doesn't believe in God.
Okay.
You see where the problem is. So you go kuliba nani? Kuliba alangizi, you go kuliba banachimbusa. They are not God. So if you're going to look for a best alangizi, it's the one who fears God, because this institution, your family, is not a man-made institution. It's an institution made by God. So you don't respect God in your marriage, you don't respect God in your family, you lose out.
Powerful.
So for and I've come to understand that if you're fairly to sana affect. So I went down, I saw that my parents can't shift is HIV, and I put an end to superstition. Superstition, it has to be real. I know magic is real because I didn't chitikil up.
Okay.
But then in that context, to feel to send into fear real, real things. Vifunika vankara real. Wow. We have to be
the Jesusist is a realist.
Exactly. Maybe even way more than that, because anyway, I'll just end there.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the depth of your thoughts and your thought process so far. And I'm learning a lot. And thank you for being real. And thank you for also being able to disclose some of this information. How did the death of your parents, especially that they were dying one after the other in such a short space of time, how did that affect the family and particularly yourself?
Like like I've just said, there was a lot of superstition. There was a lot of superstition. Then we had to do Isambole Amfwa. That time, kwa idea, we were transitioning from property grabbing.
Yeah, that issue.
Property grabbing. There's these people, quite more politics. There's abalefo okuryamo. They look like they are fighting for you.
Yeah.
There's interest in fortunately for us, there was an uncle who fought for us. Uncle Friday. He was actually one of the administrators. So Balisa making sure that not every property was gotten in that way. So fairly shalas in Fiaban. But so the effect for me, I think because of what I said earlier on, ukukula kwandi, it was like I'm the black one out or the black sheep. Even if that was happening, the place I said my dad was telling me that your parents now is education. That was a boarding school. As early as grade 4, 5, I was in boarding. So ida transition yakubati limbinambo kumfwenkumbobuliri sana, it wasn't there. It's like I had already gotten used not being with my parents. And that's the other thing. Idanatanda, when I said psychologically it affects Havana, I remember going to secondary school, at Chiwala Secondary School. I asked my friend, who bought you these underwears? It was like, my mom. I was like, what?
Oh, because for you couldn't relate.
I couldn't. I started buying underwear for myself at
a
younger age. So whenever I ask umuntu, I ask them, they would always refer to their parents. So that's also the weakness of growing up with parents. There's that dependency syndrome. And there's that control. Ngamwamfo a problem to akwata, for example, I would say, abapongoshi, balengila sana mufyupo fyabana. It stems from there. Okay. Because even our parents, they don't want to let go because they are looking at you as a boy.
Okay.
They are looking at you as a girl. You are their girl. But umuntu ari 32. We've got situations whereby...
So those are attachment issues now.
Mama, the parents, they've got a problem. They don't want... The Bible says, when the man shall leave his parents and be cleaved to their wife.
The principle of living and cleaving. Right
now, as I'm speaking, there's a 25-year-old, there's a 32-year-old, even older. That's a government within a government. Kula alua. Umuntu ngakula ni mukolwe afuira kwa tenseke yakwe, where you need to make your own government, your own rules. You can't be telling someone who's 25 inshita ya kubwela kunganda. So that's our society.
Yeah.
So that stems from that.
Okay.
So for me, if you tell me that I'm thanking God actually. Maybe I'm an odd one out. That God gave me God gave me a way of becoming independent wangu. So I did not grow up with yakula like somebody's going to come to help me. Fidia muchitonga tuandati majeje like my tantrums, yes. I'm not. Sometimes even my friend Aaron Simfukwe alanda tayo alibako harsh sometimes just because maybe walipitako ku prison and stuff walibako idea strong kwati karia kaluseko karia. I was like, maybe it's the way I've been brought up. I've not been brought up to be responsible for somebody's own responsibility. You see where the problem is. You do something that is wrong, you are expecting somebody to to come and mop for you. People do it. Anyway, for the sake of this conversation, how do you go mu toilet? You use the toilet and you expect somebody to come and flash. Yeah. You flash for you.
So
You have to be responsible
lack
for
of
my actions.
responsibility. Yeah, on your own.
On your own, the moment umuntu achita realize if you nishibaba, in fact, in under nishwakula. Nobody's coming to save you.
I like that. We did a tour with Wezi some time back, and part of the issue we were trying to address on that tour in the 10 provinces actually was cholera. We were doing cholera sensitization.
Okay.
And I noticed that at some point I was thinking that Wezi was being a bit harsh when talking to the people during our community dialogues. And I was asking her that, don't you think you're being a bit harsh? Then she's like, no, these are things that need to be addressed. So for her, her concern was that people don't take responsibility even when it comes to things like, garbage, the way people just dispose and throw things around. And then when these problems come, we are all quick to blame maybe the council.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
when you see the things that people do, whether it's, throwing things in the drainage and whatnot, there are people who can't, dispose things properly. They'll just throw them literally on the roadside.
Expecting someone to come and
pick it
clean
up.
your dirt.
So, but when I thought about it later, I was like, you know what? Wezi had a point. Sometimes people need to be told the truth. Because for me, in that moment, I was thinking, I know it's a bit sensitive. If you tell people that this is part of the reason we're having cholera. But then I realized, I was like, this is the truth. And
It's
that's
the
what
truth,
needs
and
to get to the
it's
people.
like that. It's like that. So it's unfortunate, but for me, I would feel like to answer your question, I feel like I thank God that the obstacle became the way for me. Mama na padapena pale shu pale sachita kwati fili if apali chisuma alabika pochimo. So for me, I've come to understand that ukufwa kwabafyashi, however sad and bad it was, it brought me to this point. Okay. Because again, after Bafwa, I went to Chiwala. You can imagine through Chiwala, I never smoked dag.
Wow.
But
by the way, before Chiwala, were you at one school from grade 1 to grade 7?
No, like
these were different schools.
Different schools, like I said, grade 1
to
up
5.
to 5, 4 actually.
4. Okay.
I was at Mutende Primary School.
That's Mutende. Okay.
So my dad had to retire, so we went to the farm.
Okay, that's where you continued from grade 5.
Yes.
Okay.
So from there, it was a boarding school because pali school son. And I remember kwenda more than 60 kilometers.
My goodness.
Ukuya kunganda. So na lino mwaicha wandi twice, and it was a 4 days holiday. Ali alwala amoro. So my mom then was like, I was like, I really wanted to come back home.
Wow.
That was so a school with.
Okay.
There was a thought I had.
You were talking about I think you were going towards talking about smoking, that you never smoked before Chiwala.
I went to Chiwala with that kind of discipline career because of what I was going through. Chiwala was known for, by then, it was known for being notorious. And then I remember guys would smoke and stuff. Even not the same kama boarding school, primary school. People would smoke.
But there you never.
But I never.
Okay.
But imagine afterwards, napusha ne school, I started doing drugs. Mubukulu.
After high school?
After high school, yes.
Wow.
After I finished school.
Wow.
And actually, after I finished school, I think I even did some college work. That's when I started ephemeral drugs and selling and stuff.
Wow. Wow. We need to talk about that. So who was sponsoring your education after the death of your parents?
Like I said, my uncle.
Okay.
My uncle came in, and then because my father left Flewa Kwati some property, ng'ombe.
So that's the same uncle who defended the family?
Yes,
Okay.
because Benabaliko enlightened. He was more to our family, Uncle Friday Bwembya. May his soul rest in peace. Na Benabali suffer.
Okay. Okay. So immediately after high school, what was going on?
After high school, Nali, I came to a situation whereby, because I had no dad, I used to look up to my brother.
Your older brother?
My older brother, actually, the first brother, the second born.
Okay. Do you know the age gap between you and your older brother?
Should be 7 to 6.
Okay.
Yes. I used to look up to him such that I became obsessed. Another mistake that I made. I became obsessed with him. In Ganiku school, I chose subjects basing on him.
Wow.
There are those mistakes that we make in life. I chose subjects based on him. He could do TD by then, technical drawing, metal work. I went for those, not knowing that I was a different person. Right now, I would say, had I known or had I had a father, he could have groomed me into choosing things that would apply to me.
And in line with your strengths.
My strength.
Your own strengths.
I would have rather
away from your brother.
done literature because I'm an artist. I would have opted for history.
Yeah.
When Bismarck and stuff. But those have come to know my own. When the animal farm, like society. When you look at society, under the animal farm, the others who are more equal.
Yeah, some animals are more equal than others.
You know, if you are a girl, those books, because that's my line of
George Orwell.
Yes, I'm wired like that. So when I finished school, or maybe Mukukula, even if before I even finished school, I took my brother as a role model, such that I went back to the dependency syndrome.
Yeah.
Without him, there wouldn't be me. Without Ngatabanje. So the mentality of independent, it died because I had to confine in him, like a father, when he was not my father. So I was looking for a father in him.
Yes.
But he wasn't my father.
You were unconsciously looking for a father.
Yes, father figure.
Yes.
And I found it in him, but he wasn't. So there are instances whereby in life you might be looking for a father figure. What I would tell that somebody, I would say, look to God. Nobody's going to be your father.
Wow.
Just stand there, ask the right questions, things will start unfolding. Kushpa. It's normal.
Yes. Wow. Powerful. So, in this period, you were found with your brother most of the time?
Yes,
even
actually,
after high school?
After high school, he was at University of Zambia.
So he went his own direction.
So I had to join him. Actually, when I finished, I went to the same former school, the boarding. That's where I started working.
Kumushiri.
Okay. Because there were white people there. It was a sponsored school. So I found myself unaamba kwa kubomba. But still I had karati mfire na kutauni kubakamba.
Okay.
So, I drop everything. By then I applied. I applied to Unza. I applied to, which school is this? The forest school, Mwekera. And I was accepted to do a diploma. When I heard that I wakamba bali Lweendo, I left everything. Went to him. Kanshina zigonga.
Oh, I see.
So I would urge someone in life to make sure, if I had a son or a child, I would train them to be independent as early as possible. And never to having that attitude whereby ulefwa afeba chite bakese kwafwa.
Okay. Wow. So at what point did you try out the drugs?
twalisa kumanya bena DY2K.
What about musician?
DY2K.
I
did my first joint with that man.
Oh.
You know why I sang
The first joint.
I sang kola. Fyali nkola bamba nokulanza fyamkola. Nishindesha na gitero na alisha wino. And I said, hii stuff we. Fintu ifi.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the song goes like Mtima wanga kunyamuka.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Yo mutima nyamukat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did that. Ndese kabati. You see, there are things in life that I would urge someone not to taste, because once you are hooked, you will never become the same. But like I've said, I will not stop going back. I'll say I've passed through what I've passed through for this time. Because had I not gone through, like I'm church elder at church right now.
Wow. Because you've done it before yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I remember telling my wife that she had to trick me before we got married. She was like, I'm HIV positive.
Okay.
Just to sing a Chako and Adibatem. I think that's what I concluded for last. I was like, okay, fine. Tell me, Munwanchtan Shama Airways. This time, Baranja Pampamin. So I told her this, that I've got a sibling who's positive. If I say you are positive and then I shan, na leke relationship, which God is going to give my sister a husband? My Monaca. Mm-hmm. So, thought pattern, yeah, it's very important. It's very important to respect people. Mm-hmm. So I did my first joint with
DY2K.
DY2K. Twalipa mungulu pale somewhere kundola town center moja.
Pa Broadway.
Broadway pale bachimochi building echo tutachi building kundola. So from that time, every time I wanted to play guitar, nale mfa high figure nishku kubaila. And one thing that I'll say.
So you can confirm that you got hooked once you tried it.
Yes. And you find that in the realm that we deal with things, there'll always come a time when you're going to be forced to do something.
In order for you to fit in.
To be
accepted.
Hooked. Actually, what I mean is this. In every person's life, I've come to conclude this. In every person's life, there's a point at which, for example, chupo. If ichupo tachirangirirwa no buchende, girls will be looking nice. Those others. Even on the other side, she'll be tempted, the wife, she'll be tempted to go outside the marriage. But once chabongo soka, even those temptations will lose their strength. That's what I mean. Ingatawa ilapo. Ingatawa nuapo obwaro. In most cases, I'm not God. What I'm saying is, it's like there's a certain virginity in all things.
I hear you.
Even umwana kashi, this time kwa albanaira, umwana kashi teti, this generation, takwa abama virgins, wufi. Nishabantu bade kokufyalwa. That's a sweeping statement to encourage that virgin to think it's not normal for them to be.
Now I see you're a philosopher. You think deeper. Not on the surface.
So that age will always be kulu yoli virgin. muchupo nishipikisha club.
Wow.
You can't stay as a man without a girlfriend.
Wow.
Nikwisa ningalolesa kuli kamera. Ndefo kumewo kwe bati ine pano chakwata girlfriend. So if there's a man out there who's doubting that bale mupampa mofidia fonjitatu bu satanist, bale mupampa mwatako abo kwikalo kwa bula girlfriend bufi, it's not normal, it's not right. So the age of ukubaila yaleisa, because my system was supposed to be filled with narcotic. And once your system is filled with narcotic na dopamine, what do you do nga kalevo ka punch? You go back. And then you feel your own guiltiness. Nishikashia mukadaka mboku mfika. Na peperepo one time. Nde pepa. So kaiti fiamba fela nonga. Ero ulenda munshira. Ule mafuka tubonse na abeshwa na uba. Ule mafuka tubonse na abeshwa na uba. So kuichindi.
Kuichindika.
Kuichindika ili yaba.
Yeah, extreme.
So nanguni hapa pene ngana chipenda mwamona vena akumbani ngana chia baira so that imbe kono. But futi you find that karakere futi kale isa. Don't try it. Hey, don't try it.
Just don't try it.
Don't try it.
I like how you've described this whole situation, this whole scenario of either drugs or any type of virginity. There's a lady who told us a story some time back of how all her peers were losing their virginity, and it's almost like they were influencing each other. Like, oh, you haven't done it before. You haven't done it before. And so when her friends found out that she was a virgin herself, there's a way that they responded to her. And even the way they looked at her, like they were more like they were leaving her behind, because it's like you don't fit in, to a point where if she was weak or gullible, she would have fallen for it to say, oh, so I don't fit in. Because they were making it look like she's so behind.
Exactly. And for me, that's what I call initiation. Mwalimu fapo item kukopa bote futuale itakai tuale chitana coin ama words. That's how come God blessed with me with the word TheJesusist. One of my boys, a very loyal person to me, Diju. Kaitwa kwetati HOD. Yaliba na kwatana tatu apate HOD. Nga mwalimu fapo filati abapondo pa duty.
Yes.
That's us.
Oh.
Those who used to say that, bafunishe kulifa, because apana kwata HOD, hustlers on duty. So then mubasa tuma ku brain ifikaitwa rifungu kashimena ba reading situation ata mu Zambia fibemba. So if at hustlers on duty vena kusana tu umupondo pajani
pa duty. Okay, naikata.
So what was my thought? My thoughts are skipping me. Tochanda coming kata
na ine kanjikata big man X
apapali padina chiri.
Okay.
Akapiripiri.
That was your other name?
Actually, if I go back for that to a bayana where I took Efideti, akapiripiri akene kakubaba torodiro nindarama bakeshi vashai. He's trying to number. So whoever, and I'm here to set maybe the record straight. Whoever you hear, akapiripiri, utupiripiri, the biribiri, hey shani, fibiri shani.
Okay.
The influence comes from here.
I hear you. Anyway, basically you were just describing initiation. But that's what you call initiation.
So initiation, but the situation will take you, the dark side of the world, will take you to a point where you just have to do that thing. But once you do it, you are gone. And it will leave you like, oh, same applies. I would sum it like this. You've heard this one before maybe. Mfukamina.
Entitlement or dependence. You start depending on me.
Actually, what I'm talking about is Matthew chapter 4.
Okay, when the devil was tempting Jesus.
Exactly.
Okay.
For Yaba.
Yeah.
What do you think could have happened had Jesus knelt down?
Okay. Yeah. Because Satan at that point was trying to trick Jesus. Right?
So once watch Taffy, you are gone. There's nothing like going back unless the grace of God, because Jesus had to overcome. So you use that leverage because Jesus overcame.
Powerful.
But once you are gone, nish chapwa. There's nothing like going back. Kuyumfuisha bwino for the ladies and society. We say, oh, she's a secondary virgin. Takwava.
Yeah.
Kuchimuntu fye. Chadi senda. And there's nothing that you can do. Nangu chupo once wafuma panse. Nangu baba kupeperere and stuff. That. So what I'm trying to say is, for those that have already done, I'm not saying chapwa. Mm-hmm. For those that haven't, please protect what you have.
Wow.
Protect it with the jealous, like the apple of an eye.
I like that because it's rare today to even hear anyone preach virginity, for example. Back in the day, one thing I remember, there was a slogan, abstinence.
Iriche.
When someone just says abstinence, every kid shouts, iriche. I've tried it at a road show recently. You're at a road show and you shout, abstinence. The kids don't even know what you're talking about because no one preaches abstinence now. You know, those days you could hear about the ABCs, abstinence, being faithful, and condomizing. Mm-hmm. And this podcast, Dads Without Dads, is actually powered by the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. And
Imagine.
AIDS Healthcare Foundation knows better when it comes to all these mechanisms that can be used to prevent the contraction of HIV, whether it's the treatment or the prevention itself, which is the abstinence, being faithful, or condomizing. But no one is talking about the A anymore. So I'm really happy that you've spoken about it.
Yeah, because that's how societies are engineered to lose focus when it comes to morality. Right now, me as maybe I also represent the clergy, I would say it's not marketable to talk about abstinence.
Wow.
It's not.
Even among the clergy?
Yeah. It's what I mean is...
what I mean is if someone is talking about that topic, it's like it's almost like you will drive people away.
Exactly. Exactly. Abantu tabatina promiscuity, batina malwele.
Wow.
You get my point, eh?
Yeah.
Tabatina morality that is behind the abstinence, the sanctity of marriage. They don't. They just fear because maybe I'm a what would I say? I'm a physical consequences. But the real moral aspect of being morally right, you abstain or wait until you get married. I've noticed also to say that.
So you're talking about purity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mwadishibati, if you pofyakoba to muntu lost their virginity to their husband, those ladies are very faithful to their husband.
Wow. Talk about it.
Yes, they are. They are, Nangu. They can be abused. They can be abused in there. Talk to the ladies. I think they would agree with me. It's very affiliate. For example, if we to piripira, tororiro nendera. You know tororiro?
Tororiro.
Tororiro is the abuse of humanizing.
Okay.
So tororiro nendalam. I'll tell you rightfully that a lady who loses virginity to a person, you can imagine I used even to study those things. If a lady loses virginity to you, so you just make sure you sleep with them. Then desire attachment because they've done that for the first time with you.
So you are all they know.
Exactly.
No comparisons.
Exactly. So that is supposed to happen in the marriage. Now imagine when it happens in the marriage. That means that person, I like her husband faithfully. Now if it happens pansi ida twaleta ti ala ima kapale.
Okay.
You know kapale?
Uh-huh.
Kasparo. Akaspare takeka pachimuti chimu.
Yes, yes,
so
yes,
ala
yes.
ima kapale from this one to trying to fulfill that void. Oh no, I'm not an expert, but that's what
You have a point.
Yeah, that's what
You have
I've
a point.
observed with the many ladies that I've been with. I've been with a lot of ladies. And that's the thing, Bwembya. And unfortunately, most ladies, they don't appreciate it. Maybe it's not fashionable. They want to expose themselves. They want kuchita tractor about me. Tabopa ichachpa.
Wow.
Something common is not valuable. Chimo nangu God. Mwaimana God. Mama pa God pa mwolo feso.
Taimoneka.
Mr. Biflo.
Scarcity.
Exactly. So
Chimone mpia.
Exactly.
Tebonza abashikwata.
Exactly. That's why shabela valuable. So you see, you are exposing yourself. Those men are going to take advantage of you. Because I've been there. And I sincerely apologize to those ladies because na twalebo naula. It's not like I'm glorifying the whole act. It's shameful because those people are affected the rest of their lives.
Wow. I like what you said there. Someone else I had a conversation with was also talking about how, unfortunately, in life, men can get away with those things where if a man had been or has been seen with many women, somehow their value and their market can even go up as a result of that.
Let me say something about that.
Okay.
It's like this. Umwaume tafyalwa na value. Naralanda mtsongo. A man is never born with value. Ladies, they are born with value. Their job is to protect the value.
You have to be a defender.
So, Mr. Biflo, value yenu ni fiat ni mo ba Biflo. Nachafa no kuchinja na mani for a jacket. Because society respects people abale monika bueno. That's why pakatondo there was a time bambo kufana na ma jacket. Because that's how society is wired.
Yeah.
Maman. So umwa value aisanga mu kyalo efo alebomba ni mo ba Biflo. That's why I'm here. Mu podcast yo mu interview. That's you.
Yeah.
But for a lady, she's born with the value. Her job is to protect the value for the right person. So when if you know bokoya, there's a term bokoya. If you're a sluggard, tapadi chobe. Don't even cheat yourself. No. It's not like that. You just have to work hard, be responsible, do the thing. Baka nangwali useless baka ambo kuisa abantu kuchita respect or to respect you as a person. That's why kwabela machinade. That's how men are. But for the ladies, sanctity. It's just that maybe people have westernized this stuff. Or independent woman, shani. That's very important. But at the end of the day, the sanctity of a woman, she's born with it. That's why you'll find ama Cinderella stories or Beauty and the Beast. You know? It's because umwana kashi alichinda mafe mukufyalwa kwakwe. You know the greatest crowning act that God has made? Mwana kashi. She was the last thing to be created. Was she created from the dust? Where was she created from?
From my rib.
Meaning, abamupangire kuchintu chamweo. Direct flesh of my flesh. So she's born with that value. So the best thing as a father, dad without dads, the best thing that a father, I would urge someone to teach their children to close their legs. Nishna value yaima.
Powerful. These days, in this era, there is also what is known as toxic feminism. And this whole thing of independent, it's been given a touch of toxicity to a point where these days there might be some women out there who are even trying to compete with men on the basis of how many men I can also sleep with.
Imagine.
What a man can do, a woman can do 10 times more.
Let me clarify one point. Let me clarify one point because of what you have just said. Let me clarify one point. I'm a strong believer of the Bible. The Bible is masculine. Takwaba wemayo waba kumulo.
Okay.
Kwaba wetata mweshifwe wewaba kumulo. So, the problem that we have in society is undermining the Bible. The Bible tayakwata hate it or love it, Jesus is the Son of God. He's not the daughter of God. Jesus fed 5,000 men. Adam had Cain and Abel. That's why Bwembya, because of the way they see the Bible. How shallow? I'm sorry. I'll say this. Sorry. That's shallow. Umukashwaka Cain afu minekwisa. Simple. Au pile sister wakwe.
Answer yo.
Chapwa.
Oh.
Why do you think he... That's shallow.
Oh.
God only created Adam and Eve. But the problem is this. We don't realize that the Bible is written for our salvation. So the sons were Cain and Abel. But read the death of Adam. Somewhere punchpad. He says Adam had other sons and daughters. You think what a logic.
Yeah.
So the Bible is masculine. Take it or leave it. The God who created us is more of a father. It's high time people started taking these things seriously. We have got a father figure in God, but doesn't mean God created man and woman. In his image, he created them both, male and female, in his image. But here I pronounced in him man. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is we are confusing gender roles. That's why I'm even getting surprised that Charlie and where a person is asked who is a woman, but if you see all that type of education to and what it does, who's a woman? Can a biological man give birth? Doctor Wasambiri Lapa University. I was like, I can't go to the university. You see? Yeah. So what am I trying to say? We have to accept the fact that mwanakashi, they were created as ladies. Umwaume. And it doesn't make them any smaller because they are ladies. And it doesn't make me any manly because I'm a man. Why can't we get football to ambokla sankana? There's female football. Football in it to soccer, as in American soccer.
Yeah.
There's if afyabaume, nefyabanakash. So that distinction, because of what you've just said, is very important for society because they are ladies.
Okay.
And they are men. That distinction is very important. And now you know what the enemy has done? The enemy of God wants to combine everything. That's what I call confusion.
Okay.
I think I've made my point.
Yeah.
It's very important to have that the distinction, not in terms of because we mwana cash. Like for example, in church we are having problems. Women want to preach papodium.
Okay.
And if the church comes out, Balafirwa, the church, if I were to represent a church here, I can't speak like this.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the church is a bit on the apologetic side,
Like
very censored, very careful.
Yes, because when you say umwana kashitafwira okumina pa podium and give a sermon, you are marginalizing the women. But in the Bible, have you ever seen female priests serving in the sanctuary?
I don't think I've come across anything.
Even angels. Have you ever seen a Bible that describe angel in a feminine direction?
Not that I know of.
See?
When we had Prophet DMC Ame here, he talked about, he says he bemoans, I'm paraphrasing, he said something about him finding it unfortunate for those people who congregate in churches where the overall person or the overseer of that ministry is a woman or something like that. And he was met with some serious comments.
Exactly.
So I can only imagine what comments you will receive.
Exactly. So and I have to clarify. What I'm saying is this. The Bible is masculine, and as an independent person who believes in the Bible, there's no God the mother. It's God the Father. You like it, you don't like it. It's God the Father. Meaning that the Bible is masculine, and then if we are just going to say the lady should just preach per pulpit, what's the same one? Why are we interested to bring ladies per pulpit? Is that where the word of God should only be preached? So the fight is not about the pulpit. The fight is about the head. Christ is the head of the body. So the body is the woman.
Oh.
The head of the house is the man. In what direction? That Christ is the head of the body, which is the church. The church represents the woman, the feminine part. So the one who controls the body is the head. So Christ is supposed to control the head. It's supposed to control the body. And who's the head of the head? God. You're getting the formula of the Bible. So meaning the body is subject to the head. But once the body, or if the head becomes subject to the body, Adam, that you hearkened to the voice of the woman. Because umwana kashibamufunishe kumunofu. So when you follow your feelings, what happens to you? If you know that women are emotions. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, the enemy knows that who was deceived in the Garden of Eden?
The woman.
So he knows that when society is led by the woman, he'll be able to manipulate the whole system. Biblically. I'm speaking biblically. But in the world, we want to have human rights. And if I speak about the world not biblical, I would say, okay, let the ladies be treated the way they want to be treated by society. But what we are going to have at the end of the day is confusion.
Wow.
Same applies with, there's this thought, if I don't say this maybe, there's this thought about tribalism. You know why tribalism has corrupted society? It's similar. Who brought tribalism?
I can't even trace it. I can't trace the
Genesis
origins.
chapter 10. God comes, finds these men. They are building something nice.
The building of the Tower of Babel.
They are building and they are doing everything like in order, like if it were called a technology. Then God says, see what these men are doing. And they are of one language.
Let's confuse them.
Let's confuse them so that they do not understand each other. Actually, he says there's nothing that their thoughts will think which they cannot do.
So where there is unity.
Where there's unity, but unity in sin. So I'm trying to clarify here the Bible is masculine, whether we like it or not. Even ichichi mfulunganya tuwakwata, even in our country right now. Abatonge fi, ababembe fi. Once we work together, this country will go places. But ida in a reason ida kwebati tabafuire ba bombera pamo. They are not supposed to work together. Epo ya afuma.
Wow. Wow. This episode of Dads Without Dads is brought to you by the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We take a break.
Yabonfya amatuls webanga amafus wekwata obukopo mu bongo ibonfye iyo bongo bongo.
Welcome back. So I'm interested in knowing some bits of your life. How did the drugs affect you?
Fearing gonna wait alive. Fearing gonna wait alive. That is a no-go area. I spent my time in prison 4 years. I lost my career, music. The time I spent 4 years, nachanda pabena DY2K.
So that time you were doing music.
Nachanda pabena DY2K. Nachanda pabena. I can also speak about maybe intina ludisha na okuludisha Lweendo.
Please.
I can.
Feel free.
There's this tune. I don't know. Lweendo. Mami, ibuse fiso le fanya kukukumfwisha wino. Mami, ibuse fiso file ngati ule ya kulibambi. Ndekula ya mami, kaba fenobe, uyu mutima wandi. Anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to demonstrate. That tune was coined by me.
Mami ni uzi?
Maktu is a buddy of mine, and think when maybe he even hears this, he will be happy. I don't know how he's going to take it. But then what I'm trying to say is it ruined my life. I remember Twapanga beat ya Lweendo. They worked on it. They called me that in the Anjimbe party. I don't know which part they wanted me to do. Maybe I was the one who was supposed to sing papati. Yeah? I turned it down because nalikuwa kufika pompozi tikada chili you know fevena chanda kapilipili bakamba. 4 years of myself spent in prison at my active point. Idea kwabati where you are supposed to ila Bible ilanda remember the days of your youth. That's when drugs hit me. And I went to prison. When my friends, they were
This was around 2010, 2011?
Exactly. Oh. Because I had my own studio. I used to do videos.
Oh.
I used to do videos, and maybe in you can even sample them. Meaningful songs. But because I was under the influence of drugs, it ruined me. Ero ine yakusankanya nga bwalwa ulesankanya ama spirits nefyamba. Very dangerous. So like I've said, ama drugs, they ruined me. I could sell. Of course, but I could sell drugs. I was almost becoming like a drug lord.
Wow.
Place nali. So, ama drugs, they affected my life to a point whereby last time I remember using them. Mwalimu fapo ile obesa mkulanda ati ngawa pepe fyamba. kulaba okulubaana nalyambira okunfa voice mu mutwe irenje befyakuchita. Lucky for me, afterwards, when I went to prison after an pangaid accident, because the person died, Nadisaba involved, actually it's me who was involved in the scenario, because I believed Balefo Conchita initiated into Satanism, and people take it lightly. That's why I wouldn't do a song like Ati Pomba Po Tumfo Ofofikalipe Pomba Po. We what we speak of becomes real. I remember by then I had the hit song, of course, Kumu Furila. Twale mbati nalapena limbi nalapena ayayayaya. There were some friends of mine there. Even Sawyer was there. You know Sawyer?
Yes. From Move. Yes. Okay.
That studio that we were in, I used to produce. Ludo Lweendo, thank God naimbira ti limbi nalapena. Panto nga naimbira ti ngatakuwa lilimbi.
Ngamwali pena.
Yeah, it sounds funny because it's history now, but you see, that's how bad Ama drugs are. And I feel like it's a shame that maybe, for example, I would say on this, because I believe there's what I call death ground. I might not come back to say these things again in this way.
Oh, yeah.
If it worked for Bob Marley, thank God. But nainanga mwamulolesha sana.
Limbi pena.
Nga mwamulolesha sana Bob Marley. There's that. So if it works for you, don't be an advocate. Wama drugs ukwebata abantu bale bomfya ama drugs. Futo alipe papo. I know what it means ukupe pefya mbaweka. They on the street. Ngana afet pass street imbefe wa pass street fefe vineve wa chinja vina kuchina pass street ya bati. Takwa wabo ukupe pefya mbaweka. Why? Because the amount of if ya mba chimulolo chidanga wachi pomba chidanga. Wachi mulolo fo chipidibula. Okay. Chechimulolo na I think mwaisho. Chechimulolo nga mwachipomba.
Ukulola.
The joint. So echimulolo.
Yes.
So nga wachipomba chidya, wachipepa. Ngole pepa weka. The rate at which those narcotics are affecting your body is high. So kufurungana bwangu. So me I used to do that. Ndeshtishapo ndepepapo. Imagine. So nambo kumfa ma voices yarenchita instructive ya kuchita. Mamon. Unfortunately, when I was arrested, umulandu waba fili I went to Chainama. There's Dr. Musoni. I don't know where he is now, if he's still practicing.
At what point did you go to Chainama?
When I was arrested.
Okay.
For the murder case.
Oh, that was the case?
Yes.
Okay.
Because last time we met, when you interviewed me, I told you that that's the story for another day.
Oh, okay. Is this the day?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us, to give the background?
If time allows,
please.
There's no problem.
It's our platform.
What I'm trying to say is this. Fairly sanchita affect to a point that but Dr. Musoni, when I was taken for forensic testing to China, I've been to China. Okay. The point is, badi sanje bokwewati wila tuishika. Those are what we call after ama effects withdraw syndromes.
Oh, okay.
Because naisaleka padapen is like when God got me out of that situation. Naisaleka. I didn't want anything to do with drugs because God saved me.
Okay.
So I started hearing voices. Yale mpela my instructions we nomba Lweendo apachapo ayo abu satanist. I remember that time dress okubutuka mumpanga. Those that remember obviously they would remember that. I spent my time before that.
You would undress and run in the bush.
The time I was arrested, I was naked. Nishindela and the verse at Revelation chapter 18, I was saying, Babylon, Babylon now. Yes, because I reached a point whereby nambo kumona tukufuala te nomo kano kwendo obwamba. Why? Because Adam bamubumbira obwamba. So the problem is this. That's why I'm fighting this out. If I come here, now if you look up Lweendo or Chidi, you find me with a bandana and stuff. Now that influence there, what I would call past street. So if I come Fidia Kono, I feel like nobody would take me seriously. And that's where the problem is. If you are spiritual, people don't take them seriously. Even if you are mad drugs. Abantu pare shimika ma stories. Ulemna kwati wufi. When I say you are gonna will a life.
You know, again, sorry for cutting you. The amount of people, the number of people who've disputed one of the drug stories that we had here, that were shared by one of our friends, Newton Mainza Mbototo.
Okay.
You can't believe the number of people who think it's a fake story.
That's why the problem is. Now, satanism, for example, I said that some music is satanic. People start asking me, "Number, bashan satanic." The best example in Ningamipela is if I play Lweendo in a Pachoro to London, our producer at Munyogo, I think it will come out.
Bamama
gujundu, balambati mugo wangu. Munyogo, utamujiti welenga. Mwanago, oyu mwanago, utamujiti welenga. Mwana obe, notukulala nangu. What was my thought line again?
We're talking about how people sometimes disbelieve someone's story when they talk about drugs or satanism or anything that you may have been involved with.
Fiadi bakwati ni magic. Manmaro po Ndoshi. Who has ever seen Ndoshi at Ndoshi? So when a person who has experienced those things in Gabalela and Fimoneka kwati kwangala. Nangulimbi is not real. I heard the voice, and funny enough, after napita 4 years, after about Dr. Msoni Banjebe fetao, nifuaka kwati banyanja. Nifuaka ya chimuna, inakukanga chabe. Nispade njipshama questions, fidabalanda tobula amenshi, witilomu, witilomu. One of the nurses there or doctor asked me, "Are you Jesus?" Kaina didn't understand perfect what it is. Do you feel like you are Jesus? You know if I'm saying I'm a Jesusist. Do you feel like you are Jesus? If you there for so ukabwera futi. Just trying to assess
the tricky questions
yes,
that they ask you at China to see. Yeah.
I've been there.
Okay.
And for real, I don't know to west, to east. East is a prison. West is normal patients.
Oh.
So there
are those wings at
yes.
Chinama,
yes.
East and west rather.
And I hope and pray that people won't think I'm still pali level because it's possible. People won't take me, and it's unfortunate that people wouldn't take me seriously.
Yeah, I've noticed that when people speak about drugs on this show, some people start saying, I think I know Mbachidi Wama blown.
And I wouldn't mind. It's me. It's my life. And I know that somewhere, somehow, it will help a life. Now, let me get to the point.
Yeah.
Drugs, yeah, they are real, and they affect you. There's a disease which they call schizophrenia, where you hear voices. So what I did is this. After I spent those years in prison, 7 prisons I've been through. Chimbokaila, I've been in Chimbokaila. I've been to this place called Kuchainama Kwine. I've been passing Gogo. I've been Kukansenshi. Konsekula kuna nikanto alipita kukumwembeshi. Na ile fumina ku Livingston Collection Facility. And I thank Bama officers about they helped me sana. people like Bamakono, Ivan Somali, Liba officer in charge. My thought pattern again.
Okay, for me right now, I would just like to know, you talked about a murder case.
Yeah, before we get to the murder case, I'll
Okay.
explain on that one.
Okay. Anyway, but basically, in a nutshell, we were talking about this whole issue of when someone is talking about drugs, and other people just can't believe it, but you are here to help, and that's why you were sharing that information. But it's clear.
It means that inenga na sambo kumfama voices. So yes, this is what I was about to say. When I came out of prison after spending 4 years here, I was like, let me try to see if really Bamsoni was right that Nale Umfafyama voices.
Okay, you were trying to do an experiment.
I really want to understand. I'm real. So Nale Apomba after prison, nispat pitanemia kana idabalanded 5 years obviously nishi at least not sunguluka to fiam. I went and smoked. Ero chai size. Chebele wale mwana kwa tinaria. Mumutwe. Wale mwana kwa tinaria. Wemoka napa kokola numaninji sana abwela. Ngwangwa. Mumutwe. Chirelanda. Apanshire yokuli konzi. Ero na ibu kusholu mbolo na la pena. Limbi na la pena. So you see that. So fortunately for me, ninkwata ida lesson from Musoni. So I was like, so easy. By then, because I was younger and I had no experience in FM and stuff, I couldn't differentiate the fake mind, the narcotic mind, and the real me. So now I was like, no, your voice balanda schizophrenia. So I had to separate whatever it says or whatever I'm trying to imagine na pusanya. So me, I don't get surprised. I don't get surprised when I hear people who would undermine Fidabalan that he was acting under the influence of
psychoactive substances.
It is true. Nganimpepe fiamba pano. Tefoni ngachita active. I believe I'm a very energetic person, and I think God has wired me to think. Nganambo kutonton kanyanganimpepe fiamba, it will be different. And the padi abantu bafo kuyibomfia. Because ilachita stimulate.
Okay.
So it will depend the way it stimulates you. Epara nomba bade suggest fatawe taupe pafye buino. Nangulimbi tafikusenda buino. But the truth of the matter is that ama drugs, however they are, yavi. It's a no-go area. I've got nephews that are affected. So abafiashi balechita complaining mikuline. So you could see how it has affected them. So as parents, since we are on dad without dads, umwana nga mwamona na kwata problem na kwata ama symptoms ya drug abuse, take them for rehab as quickly as possible. Find people, counselors, find people who are trained to help such people. Not even ama suicidal thoughts. I was suicidal. They are real. Chala kweba nangwadalimba tabo maba, those that beat their wives. Sometimes it's under the influence of road accidents. It's under the influence of. So if we are going to have good society, that aspect of drugs, I spoke of the United States, but it's to introduce drugs to cure a certain part of society. So drugs ruined my life. I'm not regretting, like I said, I'm saying from the obstacle, I saw the way, and I'm able to speak like this because if I did not go through that, if God did not design me to go through that, I would have not been the man that I am today. Because me, I understand, prison don't go and associate yourself in the same groups that you are in. Okay. That's why I've gone to the farm.
Oh.
Because I'm susceptible. I'm susceptible to drugs, to
Anyone
excitement.
can relapse.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have to reach a point whereby you go and introspect. Life good at. I think even the people that have come here, they've said they would never go back.
Yes, that's true.
Because they have the experience and they know. Unfortunately, our last school yole munakwatinga tulelanda kanwa kateste.
But you are saying just don't try.
Don't. You lose the virginity, and it will depend on if we are lucky or whoever has come before here. Twalibako blessed and fortunate that we came back. Who knows?
Yeah.
You see, so that part of drugs, actually, I don't take it lightly. I make sure that people fully understand, like even if you have Satanism is real. Inenga na Lweendo. Abantu barapiribuka. The other one ingafuma mukwimba Lweendo. Mwe checking a punch pala ma condoms. Imbibala abapusane n'abakashukunganda.
Okay.
You see that the distinction between satanic and so good music, you become a good person. Bad music, you listen to the wrong kind of music, you become the wrong kind of a person.
So mind where you're found, mind what you consume.
Yes.
Okay. Great stuff. Deep stuff. So what took you to, first of all, so are you confirming that you transformed from something to a Jesusist?
Yes, that was the drug period. In fact, even before the drug period, I was still chili, but I wasn't using drugs. But there came a time, drugs. Even the vision of the studio changed because I became a gangster. Nanguni business, I wouldn't reason with people panomofi. Those that remember me kulubuto, you will find it. I think people will comment that chiri. So after that period, naana kujele. That's when now, through the transition ya kupiribuka idea, na accident ya chitika. When I went to prison now, ero naishire ba TheJesusist.
Wow.
So now I'm
Why
the
were you
Jesusist.
naked when you were getting arrested?
Because nalifo kufula. Because if you are kufala filia, they meant that shire konko before wakwarisa.
Oh, I see.
That was the mindset because of schizophrenia effect.
Okay.
It's like ukupena no kuba nomo. Paliba thin line mule shibati mwalala. Temu isa mkusanga fenambu. For your transition here. Yeah. When you are going that way, it's like you just wake up and find that you are reasoning the way you are reasoning.
Wow.
But maybe if you take a deep thought, are we supposed to be dressing? Are we supposed to be dressing? Because the Bible says they were both male and female. They were both naked, but they were not ashamed of themselves because they had the glory of God. But in their innocence, now under the influence of, you interpret things. So it's tricky.
It's tricky.
It's tricky. And that's why maybe even society wouldn't take a person when they speak. And I'm not going to say that. They should take me seriously.
Okay.
They have to take me seriously because it is very serious. You are able to distinguish. A lot of these big artists, maybe I remember even Shefi, Cream Dollar coming to my studio back then. Interviewer here. Balalanda tabano. Do you? You see? And even if you do, maybe you wouldn't. Because you know the effect. So if like I'm privileged to say Mbototo was here. Look at us. Maybe this is when my art is coming out.
So you were delayed.
Exactly. And what caused that? Drug abuse.
Yeah.
Limbi bala paper, kwali baba paper, but bali ishiwe for paper. I could see people ku studio back then, West Side Records. Ngaba isa ture paper po. Limba donsa kofeka mo. Tusha ifo ture baididida. And they are constructive. So nangukunwa, I feel like there are people who drink it ever that responsibly. Bamabala claim ati kunwa no. Kunwa nechi? No kulinga. But remember the remember the virgin effect. Ukunwa no kulinga. How do you know that now ulinga?
Yeah.
Upimashan. Because I'm a drugs in for you. If you take today, if you took kakapo like if so. Next time ukava ukunwa kwanza. Ukukonkelela ule mundu wendo hapa face studio. Those that take drugs, they know what I'm talking about. Because the first effect is now for the one at DY2K.
Okay. So you were looking for it. Yeah.
Dopamine, ni dope fe ku dopa dobo.
Yeah.
Excitement ile to conquer mo.
Dopamine, yeah. Wow.
Mkwa.
So you were sentenced for 4 years?
Actually, it wasn't a sentence. Okay. I was sentenced as HEP.
What's that?
In the law qualified that His Excellency's pardon.
Oh, okay.
So if you are kuikala kulanga wali afe wali pena kula kusunga fe until the officer certifies that abadi no number.
Oh, okay.
And then they recommend you for pardon kuliba president. For banka killing.
Oh.
And
what did you do?
What I did is nalisa fulungana in short. So mukufulungana pamulandu wa kubomfya ma drugs. I ended up taking a life of someone. Which to me, I believed it was a ritual. If in abantu batwish kama SPN files. But for me, that was a ritual. That's what I thought back then. And unfortunately, the person that was involved was a very old lady. I believe if it was maybe a youth or a young or a baby, maybe my career could have shot. I don't know what it means with God. So in that case, it was supposed to be maybe death sentence, because back then it was still on, or life. But fortunately for me, I was given HEP because I was under the influence of. So kwalibama component fire mulo. There are about 4. Evidence here chowa bomfeshe, pushe pali motivu, pushe mubile poli. Then there's another one. There are about 4. So one lacked because they proved that I didn't do it out of like ninton. It wasn't a pre-thought. Anyway, that is law.
Okay.
So after that, that's 5, yo. And I understand, okay, that is law. It means I can't fully explain. For Bampere HEP. And
His Excellency pardon.
Yes. You can imagine, what if Ngabanka kire death? What if Banka kire life? I wouldn't be here.
Or death penalty.
Exactly. Ngabanka kire miyake shingi. That's what drugs does for you, to you. They ruin your life.
So that's how your music career got disturbed.
Exactly. Foto walo wafe pasini chirichiri bale mfwa baba chirichiri alifwa chirichiri abakwisa chirichiri. But I'm here now, and I thank God that I'm here, and that's why I've got nothing to hold back. because this is who I am. And now I'm living the life that I was supposed to live then. Now I'm mature, I understand stuff, and it's a blessing to me. And I wouldn't lose this opportunity not to talk about these things, because God has given me a platform where I can talk about these things. And even right now, even my music, when you check out my music, I have to emphasize the fact that these things are real. So it's there, Lweendo, the Jesusist. Mu Jesusist, not to mu chiri chiri nango. There was nothing wrong with chiri chiri, but the philosophy behind.
Okay.
Mkwa.
Okay. We need the part 2 so that we can exhaust. I would like to learn more about life in prison, how it was, your experience in prison. I also want to hear more about your family. I also want to hear more about your business.
Okay.
I also want to hear more about reintegration after prison, how you are finding life and how society welcomed you back, if that's the right wording to use, and even much more. But maybe just before we go, so when you came out, when you got out, I believe under the same HEP, you were pardoned.
Yes.
And after you got pardoned, did you pursue your music? And how has that journey been? Where is it now?
Yeah, actually, I did an album while I was in prison because I've been with the guitar. So I sang a song back then, for by chance I recognize, and they gave me an opportunity to do an album. So that's how I did 6 songs of an album, Shaka Bwelele Kumalosh. It's there on YouTube.
Nshaka Bwelele Kumalushi is the title of the album.
The title of the album.
Meaning I will not go back to my vomit.
To my vomit. Shaka Bwelele Kumaloshi. And then I did an album with Music for Change. The record label is still there. Yes, Music for Change, where I did these songs. 12 songs. So right now I'm also working on another set of music. So currently I would say I'm active now in music, back in the right way.
Not as Chili Chili.
Not as Chili Chili.
But as Lweendo, the Jesusist.
Lweendo, the Jesusist. But Chili Chili is there in me because it helps me differentiate the two.
Okay. I hear you.
Exactly. So even the songs are out there to contrast. You're able to contrast. If you see me as Chili Chili, you'll see the difference. And if you see me as a Jesusist, you'll see the difference. So the music is there, and I believe it's the voice of God now. It's a voice of God because you are able to see the transition. And I'm not ashamed of my past, because without my past, there would never be me the way I am. So the music is out there, and besides, somebody was actually telling me that if you do your music for passion, you should do it in the bedroom. So you have to understand that music is a business. So you have to sell your music, but it's gospel. So there's that commercial aspect of gospel.
Okay.
And people say, oh,
I'll tell you something that Ben Blazer says. Ben Blazer says, the gospel itself is free, but the means to delivering the gospel are not free. Because there are investments that go into that. For you to record the song, you will pay studio time. You pay engineers, you pay producers. You need, backing vocalists. You need instrumentalists or musicians. For you to market the music, you need to pay for music videos. For you to organize a show, you need speakers, you need equipment, you need a venue. All this costs money. So the means to be able to do that would cost money. Even if you go and sing in a church, your band, there's time. It's the time that's...
Actually, having said that, that's why for me, being a versatile musician, there's what I'm seeing trending. I'm a musician. I'm not a politician. I'm not a card. I'm a musician. A politician should fear me because I'm for the people. as a Jesusist. I'm not going to support something blindly. And if I speak in a neutral way. That would help a person out there make a good decision. Because maybe we're doing this podcast during the environment election year. That's my stance. I don't mind whether the people are going to say, no, me, I'm doing business. No, you are a cadre, bro. That's why we have to do our music at a professional level that it gives you a living than chasing. Because at the end of the day, I know Fiance Finto Tolanda, there are people who are going to criticize who are going to be for. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to do anything for money. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Because I've got principles. Mama, I stand for something. Okay, if candidate A is doing fine and you feel like that's a vote, but under the vote is secret. And now if you declare yourself, you declare or you endorse, that's okay as well. But where you go and sing as a musician for that one, you are a cadre, you are supporting beyond. I know maybe this would bring debate and stuff, but at the end of the day, our craft as musicians, we are musicians, we are not politicians. And I would love to see a crop of artists who would stand for something.
There's a saying that if you can't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
Exactly. So looking at my music career, my music is music, which is going to educate, because I'm a parent, which is going to educate my son to make good decisions. It's high time we as artists, me as a musician, embraced the craft of being an artist. We need society that is going to fear and respect an artist as they are. Not because now we say chichimwela cha shani na join and I'm, but I even know that what I'm supporting is not right, but because I'm paying dalam. That's being bought. You know what they say? A bribe corrupts what? Character. I'm not saying they are they are being bribed. What I'm just trying to clarify is that we are musicians, and a musician is supposed to be feared by a politician because we enlighten society in the right way. Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, Michael Jackson. Mama, we need that society to come back. So my music, that's the way I view my music.
Wow.
And I'm going to stand for the right thing, and that should be the right thing to enlighten. But abale manipulated, manipulated,
When you talk about Bob Marley, do you know the story of him having brokered talks or having brought peace between two sides of the political divide?
How was it?
So
I think
you know how in politics there is this regionalism that we get to see sometimes. To see, there's this side and that side,
Yes.
and then it brings this division in the nation. And then he did a concert where he brought them together, the leaders of the two sides.
We should do that.
You know, he brought them together using his influence as an artist and brokered peace, and they shook hands, and that was the end of whatever division
we
was
should
going
do
on
that.
at that
We
time.
need that. We need that where we, as a country, we sit down and discuss issues. If Zambia is going to develop, I love my country passionately. I've done a song, Welcome to Zambia. I love my country. When I look at the national anthem, it's gospel.
Yeah.
Ni gospel. Whoever wrote that, I've rapped for the
His
first
name
time.
is Enoch Sontonga.
Yes,
the guy that wrote our national anthem.
Amen. Amen to him. Nadi rapper. The first time Ngamam for Lweendo, Welcome to Zambia, it's a rap song. Nadi rapper because that's the music that catches people at the moment. It's real. Mama, if Zambia is going to develop, we need a situation whereby we discuss issues. Not umuntu alechita manipulate umuntu. Now wishwa no kushwa tuyalebe pa bantu. And then you go and dance for that person because he has paid you a lot of money. because you all kambokulya bwino. I don't want to go into things that maybe people would start saying ngo you afumine kwisa. Because I don't want a person
okambokulya bwino.
Okambokulya bwino. Then nga wambokulya bwino waikala Z.
Oh.
You get how and then when people say you are a kada, that way, no, me, it's business. How I hate that word, that business. No, bro, you are a kada. Why, Monica? You are a kada. Just accept that you are a kada. Because, for example, if I know that Party A is manipulating people, because there's a lot of manipulation from these guys. You cannot trust the politician. There's a song I've done. I say, Shimona mo change muli political prostitution. Shimona mo change muli constitution. One Zambia, ni one nation. Bushomo bembano mutonga ni one institution. Definition check. Mr. H, Mr. Lungu. By then, bushe change. Nde mona mo in change. Am I a stranger? When I speak, it sparkles your mind. They say it's danger. Chiri. Akapiripiri. Akene kakubabatolo lilo nendaram. You see, Obama at change. Chalo change. Bama makumusha isa change. Ubuchushi bumobwine chipoe chimochine. Mpupushi moshine. Akapiripiri. Kamokene. Fwe banonshi. Bamobene. Indalama shachilumba bali kwete. If yambo kupepa titavapepa but kuvepa no kupepa chimwe chine inene nani nga Yesu vali mutanike what more inene mbifi shiwala no kuwala ine I'm a hustler. So we need that. People need to be enlightened. It's infotainment. We need to tell people I'm a facts nangumwa iche ku ghetto. Alela ndati nka votelo nangwa dat bakaya votelo na be shiba, they are well informed, not na batulipila and we keep quiet. Some artists, I remember some artists saying an alilanda and now they've gone quiet like a church mouse. Mashwa koso wa mchurch ashitai. Why bakubika? They don't want you to speak against the ama policies bare chitashan bare punk. So for me, that's the music. You asked me a question, how's the music going? That is my vision. And I don't want really to talk about the songs. Let people listen and judge. Munyogo, utamujiti, welenga. There are people who are fighting for gay rights. What's that? I know people will be like, oh, just because they were gay. Bro. Anyway, for another day.
Where can people find your music?
Some of my music, like the second album.
Is it somewhere where people can access it? On any streaming platforms?
Shakabwelele Kumalushi, no.
Okay.
But it's there, like in Shakabwelele, the song is just on social media, like
so it's
one of the websites.
Re-uploaded,
yes.
The album?
Yes.
Which had 6 songs?
Yes.
And then the album that had 12 songs, the title is?
The title is Maranatha.
Maranatha.
Yes. Jesus is coming again.
Maranatha, Jesus is coming again. Is Maranatha, Jesus is coming again officially out? And,
yes.
Can it be streamed?
Yes, it is on Spotify.
Okay.
And we are still going to work on it because we need to re-upload the Lweendo.
Okay.
Yeah,
and have you done any music videos?
Yes, I have.
Are they on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are like, welcome to Zambia, it's doing very fine.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
And it's called?
Lweendo, TheJesusist.
Okay, great.
Yes. Everything is just Lweendo, TheJesusist.
Okay, so they can search for you even on Facebook.
Exactly.
And on YouTube,
exactly.
Lweendo, TheJesusist. And they can subscribe to your channel, exactly. They can follow your page.
And I'm speaking, I wouldn't love people to confuse Chili Chili with Lweendo, TheJesusist, because
no, by now we know the difference.
I understand that Chili Chili, we all have a Chili Chili in us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Chili Chili.
Yeah. It's a choice.
Chili Chili. And when I do that, it's like it's there in me. I would rap, I would say one of the songs like it's either you kill or get killed. At nalipena nalifulungana cause I'm skilled. pano chalo ulunkumbwa jealousy ubulo shisatandizo many men are filled bushenga nafu akukabuka umbi nangula boy ine na liver skewed shiwala no kuwala ine amahas anyway.
So I've just realized you can sing and you can rap.
Yeah.
And you can produce. And you can play instruments.
At the moment, I wouldn't love to view myself like that because now I understand the game. If I'm going to produce, if I'm going to call myself a producer, then I have to produce.
Okay.
If I'm going to call myself a guitarist, then I have to play guitar. Maybe you call me for a concert, I have to play music. Kunje bafet 1, 2, 3, nipadia. Of course, back then, I would call myself that because even this time now we are talking of AI. Before to are Bwembya Fruit Loops, katinga ni Fruit Loops 9. This time ngawamkweba bena King Nach wapangile Welcome to Zambia. He produced that, King Nach. Ngawamweba pali Fruit Loops 9 ala moko ni finish ife wa mdala. Kaitlemena nemfu inompa. So we just have to leave space for the real professions.
Okay.
I wouldn't love to call myself a producer.
You'd like to specialize in...
Exactly. I write songs, I sing.
Okay.
I know a little bit of production because I've been in the studio, running a studio. I've even video shooting. I used to do videos. There's a friend of mine who taught me how to produce H1.
Okay.
H1 Matthews in Ndola. It was good back then.
Okay.
Yes, H1.
Okay, great.
He was the one who taught me how to produce ka Adobe, Shanandanga, Narika Chola boy kakwe. Tretre kopo tuma kitchen party, ndesambila filafine.
Nice one. Okay, I think for now let's conclude. So you live at the farm?
I live at the farm.
Or is it you live on the farm? I don't know which one is the correct English.
I live at the farm. I'm a steward, like I said. I'm into animal husbandry.
What animals?
Ng'ombe, imbushi, mbelele. Into the business of, we are just registering a business with my friend, Mr. Simfukwe. Masimpe Farm Fresh.
Wonderful.
Yes, so we want to go formal.
Great. Formalizing the business.
It's very important.
Yeah, very important. And how's the family?
The family, when you say family, as in my wife.
Your family, yes.
Yes, my wife. I've got my daughter, Maureen. Then there's 2 of my nephew. The other son of mine, the David. There's also Tom, and there are 2 of my other family people. But then we have struck a deal. They work at the farm, but then they are family. I have to pay them because
there's also training going on there.
Exactly.
There's education.
Yes, exactly. Because normally my farms problems, but you want to use people as family, but you don't want to pay them. So you compromise the sanctity of an organization.
Yeah.
So you just have to meet your responsibility. Those people have got needs, special needs. So you have to pay them.
I love that.
You have to pay them, and you train them to say, okay, ngamle use the money responsibly. And one of them actually,
wow. That should make you very proud.
Son.
No, that's the way to go. And that's what being a dad actually entails.
Exactly.
Because you are present in the lives of other people. You have got all these people that depend on you and the skills that you are giving to them. And like they say, don't just give me fish. Teach me how to fish. And that's exactly what you're doing. And they are learning skills. Now they will have their own farms in future, and they'll be able to fend for themselves even in the long term. So well done, and
thank you.
You will have your freedom now, and you have an opportunity to utilize this opportunity that God has given you. You're not in prison. You're out here, and you're doing well for yourself with the farming that you're doing, many businesses, the stewardship, and you're pursuing your music again. You have an opportunity to make great music and let the people listen to you. There's social media now. You have an opportunity to have a following. You have an opportunity to have your viral moment, because anyone can go viral any day.
Exactly.
Virality belongs to everybody. Anyone can, have that moment when everyone pays attention to what you're doing, and it's up to you and how you utilize that opportunity. And I just thought I say that to you, that it's important that you are self-aware and aware of your environment and what's going on, so that you can utilize whatever is at your disposal, as long as it's legal, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. The thing. Yeah.
So I'm happy for you, and I'm proud of you for picking yourself up and not letting your past, especially the drugs, define you. And you've picked yourself up, and you're on a path. You're looking good. You have your guitar. You have your farm. Thank God for Uncle Friday and everybody that looked out for you. Now it's your turn to do your part. Uncle Frank Mutubila, when we had him here, he says, do your best and God will do the rest.
Exactly. Thank you very much. My last words would be on this podcast would be that after everything is said and done, God, in the name of Jesus, is the key. Not our workshop. God, not just any other God, in the name of Jesus, is the key, because there are so many gods out there, which people call gods. Is the key. Because had it not been for him, I wouldn't be here. And none of us would be here. Of course, maybe people would say that's a Christian faith. But at the end of the day, we are a Christian nation. And we have to uphold our values as Christians. I don't think Muzambia, Padwapo family, typical Zambians, Abashakola as Christians. So let's not look up to other avenues. Let us keep the sanctity of us being a Christian nation. That's what brought me back. Because Abafiashi, they instituted that from the beginning to about AY and stuff like that. So it brought me back. So yunga mwalekelesha omwana tamumubikiremu uwakutina nga tamulipo. They will go and they will go for good. That's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. And when they grow up, they will not leave that path. So that's what worked
and
for me.
And spare the road?
Yes, you spare the road. Spoil the child. So at the end of the day, I really want to announce the coming of Jesus Christ, that people should prepare themselves. What is happening in this world? Fingi. If it is that distract abantu to the attention that there's a God. So let's say kwaba, and we have to respect him as God. Once we do that, our marriages will work. The development that we are looking for as Zambia will work. Manipulation yalache, but like you were saying, there's no way neninga mukushimikira ku church. Like if in Delanda pano. But then when you come kunganda kumwandi, never know to abuse abakashi, never know to abuse the family, the natural ondolola. I'm here busy saying, oh, I'm a Jesusist, I'm a Jesus. But that's what we do. I'm a politicians, they've corrupt. They've got families, but I'm a church. The same people. We come from families. So once we neglect God as a nation, when God dies in a nation, that nation is lost.
Wow.
Righteousness makes a nation great, but sin is a disgrace to any people. I don't care for ndeimba. Chileposa kwa manabushefi ndeimba. Fiala chitashan influence nation. Where are we going? I make content ya pornography. I make content ya vulgar language. And then in about wishnabanyina na bekala bale umfwa. What are we teaching abantu? So lastly, let's look up to Jesus. Let's not deceive ourselves. The future, future. We need to respect the past. We need to respect the now so that we make a good future.
Wow.
Lesser. Let's not forget about God as a nation. Let's be truthful. Let's keep that integrity. Nga tulebomba mu offices mulya nga ndeli mine. I should not just look to me. I should also think of the other person. Ushefindeli meshingombendela ndato imbushishani inko na ala samayara vizmunkoko so that shine. How about the person who's going to eat? So when we look up to God, fiance, even what I'm speaking here, no, they have to be that relationship, networking, because I respect God. When we have a society like that, where our leaders respect God, now for former subjects, we respect God. If as musicians, we respect God. We as churches, how do you make a church, but you let them manipulate about a church? Using the Bible. Anyway, it's a talk of another day. But lastly, Fefin and Dandy, let's look up to God. God is the answer in the name of Jesus. And once we uphold that, yes, Zambia is a beacon of peace. Churching, these people are a Christian nation.
Amen. When we do part 2, the other thing that we need to talk about is how you gave your life to the Lord.
Amen.
So I look forward to that day.
Thank you.
And for me, I believe that that day will come. Okay. I know you were saying there's no guarantee that I'll come back, but for me, I believe. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I have faith.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lweendo, the Jesusist, for being here.
Tell it on the mountain.
You need to sing us a song as we leave.
Okay.
But right now, I just want to say thanks to the AIDS Healthcare Foundation for supporting the Dads Without Dads podcast. This particular podcast is actually managed by the Naveen Agency. Obviously, you've heard of Agent Naveen. Yes, so Agent Naveen is from the Naveen Agency. Number 1, FBI. Apart from the management, we also have our producer, Big Man X, who is also our director for this podcast called Dads Without Dads. And we appreciate him as well. Big shout out to Prince Gift, the most reliable DOP. DOP. He's dope. Yeah. Apart from Prince Gift, we have our runner, Keshas Mushas Mumba. We have our sound guy who does the edit of the sound for it to sound so good, crystal clear. That's Christopher Musumali. Apart from Christopher Musumali, we also have Mr. Dennis Ditu Mulongoti, who's our logistics manager. Have I left out anyone? Big Man X says, for now, I think everyone has been given a shout out. A big shout out to Mwana Studios, our production partners, as well as Terrence Pictures. But most importantly, thanks to you for watching the Dads Without Dads podcast. I hope you're not just watching, you are also subscribed to the channel. You have to subscribe. That's very important to us. Remember to support Lweendo, the Jesusist, on YouTube and on Facebook, and give us some feedback and let us know how you found this episode and when you want to see him back for part 2, because we know you have a lot of questions. So whatever questions you have, drop them in the comment section because we'll utilize them for the script in part 2. Thanks for watching DWD. We're out.
Born and bred in Zambia, the African dream. You got to visit to love it. Everybody, you are welcome. Born and bred in Zambia, the African dream. You got to visit to love it. Everybody, you are welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Zambia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Africa. I say stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wake and joy in unity. Victors in the struggle for the right, we've won. Freedom's fight because Africa is our own motherland. fashioned with them, blessed by God's good hands. Let us all have people join us, one brother, sister. Vakeshi Vashani, tell it on the mountain as the Jesusist.
Yabonfya tools, we banga fools. We kwato bukopo mubongo, ibonfye iyo bongo bongo. Yabonfya tools, we banga fools. We kwato bukopo mubongo, ibonfye iyo bongo bongo.
It's gonna be a very, 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 very good day. A good day. Kabiri sansa shisa uruchelo. Uyu Yesu. Abombana matuzi nkwete. Kwati moze ninkonto. Chikulundinda yasu nilicheche.
Do your best, now do the rest. Just show me what you working with. Do your best.